Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do an updated contouring and highlighting routine. I'm not sure if I've ever actually done one of these videos on my channel, but my highlighting and contouring routine has changed quite a bit recently, as some of you have noticed. So yeah, I thought I would dedicate an entire video to what it is that I chuck on my face to make it look a little bit more sculpted, a little bit more glowy. So if you want to see how I create this look, please keep watching. Okay, so as you can see, I've already got my foundation and concealer on. Today I just used a mixture of the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat and the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. Really like this combination actually. It's kind of got a bit of coverage because this one is quite low in coverage, but it has got the glow as well, so I'm really into that little duo there. As for my concealer, I've been really loving the Maybelline Fit Me, so I've been using that recently. It's really good. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and cream contour using the Iconic London. I also tend to use the NYX Pro Foundation Mixer in Olive, so I might use a little bit of both of those for cream contouring, but I think, actually I'm going to start off with the NYX Foundation Mixer. So I'm just going to take a little bit on the back of my hand. You can see it looks a little bit like diarrhea. That's exactly what it looks like, but it's a banging contour. So, you know, if you're stuck for money and you want a good affordable contour, then I'm sorry, I can't even make that joke. So I'm just putting that in my cheekbones and I'm gonna blend that out in a second. This is the Zoeva, I think it's their face paint brush. Yeah, it's like a little kind of flat brush. So I'm just gonna pop that there. I'm then gonna take my beauty blender, a damp one, and just kind of blend all of that in as well, just to kind of buff out the edges. So I find this kind of just bronzes me up a little bit, so I really like this. I don't tend to use it that much as an actual foundation mixer because I don't need to go darker with a lot of my foundations. Normally I need to go a little bit lighter, so I just use this predominantly as a cream contour and it's bloody good. Okay, so that's just a little example of how I use the NYX foundation mixer. I'm now going to go into my Iconic London palette and I'm going to go in with, I think, this shade here because I am a little bit more fair today, and I'm going to go over that NYX contour that I just did. This is a little bit lighter almost. I don't tend to have much of a jawline, like there's something there, but there's not really much definition, so I'm going to go in with this darker shade here to create a bit of a shadow. And what I like to do is actually kind of draw in a sharper jawline. And just fake it till you make it. So I'm just kind of sharpening that off and then give myself a bit of a double chin. And just go under there, because we want to get rid of that little guy. So I'm just going to bring that out to my ear as well so it all kind of connects. And then again, same situation, blend that in with my beauty blender. And you can see it does kind of give the illusion that I have a bit more structure to my jawline and it's not just a big old blob. Okay, so I'm then actually going to take that middle shade again and just work it around the top of my forehead. I don't tend to do this to like shorten my forehead or anything. My forehead's kind of like an average size. But I do want to do it just so it all kind of blends in together and it looks a little bit more natural with the rest of my face. And I'm also, while I'm here, going to take that darker shade and just wiggle that underneath my nose. It kind of shortens it and pushes it up a little bit. I'm then going to do the same for under my lip, but I'm going to take the corner of this brush just ever so slightly. And I'm going to go under my lip like that. It just makes my lips look a little bit fuller because it kind of creates a shadow. Then today I thought I might actually just contour my nose ever so slightly, so I'm just taking the same colour just ever so slightly on the corner of the brush, just because it makes it super thin. Like, you guys may not even be able to see that, but I've only put a tiny little bit of product just there. And I'm just going to take that down the sides of my nose. I like this brush for pretty much all contouring because it's big enough so you can't really mess it up. I often find that if I'm trying to contour my nose ever, then I tend to get a little bit wonky or something. I've got quite shaky hands, so this one is kind of like the right sort of length for my nose. And just gonna bring that down. And then again, tiny little bit on the corner, and I'm just gonna go across my nose like that. Just so it's not just a big long sausage. Not that there's anything wrong with big long sausages. I am actually quite partial to a big long sausage sometimes. What am I even talking about today? So I'm then actually going to go in and highlight now, and I'm going to be using the Blank Canvas Cosmetics F11 brush, and I'm going to take like the middle kind of banana shade and just work that under my eyes. Like I said, I have already concealed this just to highlight everything. And I'm going to bring that up kind of to the outer parts of my nose to again squish my nose in a little bit more. Let me know if you want like a full nose contouring tutorial. I don't tend to contour my nose that much, but I do like doing it sometimes. I'm also going to go on my chin just to lengthen that a little bit, and I'm also going to go under the contour that I made just slightly, just because I do want to sharpen that. This is like a full-on extra contouring tutorial. It's not just like a little bit of bronzer and you're good to go. This is when I'm like properly Kim K contouring. And then yeah, I'm just blending all that out again with my sponge. You know what, while I'm here, I'm actually going to show you guys how I quickly contour like my chest area. Just because sometimes I do that, especially when it's a bit warmer. And what I tend to do is bring out my collarbones a bit more. So I like push them forward and do that really weird awkward pose. And I mostly go under them to create a shadow at first. And then I might take a little bit more and kind of work it in that little area. This is actually way easier than it looks. Like people have asked me before how I contour like my décolleté and stuff like that. And I literally just kind of see where there's shadows naturally, fill them in. So again, I'm going to kind of go around my shoulder a little bit just to create a bit more shadow around here, because I will be highlighting my shoulders to the high heavens in a minute. So I'm just gonna just roughly buff all of that in so you can kind of see it all kind of blends in together. And then it looks a little bit crazy at the moment, but I'm then just gonna go over with a beauty blender. Then we're going to move on to a recent favourite of mine, the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. This one is in the shade Moonlight, and what I'm going to do is take some of that and basically chuck it all over my face because it's so good. I'm going to kind of just bring it around the areas I want to highlight, which is like my entire face. And then I'm going to take my damp beauty blender and press that guy in. So good. I'm going to add a little bit to my cupid's bow, end of my nose, just down the centre of my nose, a little bit more on my cupid's bow, a little bit more on the centre of my nose. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit above my brows as well, and on the inner corner of my eyes. We've already done the brow bone. I think that's everywhere. Shoulders. I honestly love this stuff so much. This is like a game changer for me at the moment. Cream highlighter underneath your regular highlighter, because yes, of course we are adding more later. It's like full on, over the top game changer. And just work my little sponge right in my eyeballs there. Try not to poke your eyes out. Doesn't add to the look. I feel like I'm ready to be in some kind of J-Lo music video. My ass ain't as good, but the highlight's pretty much there. I'm then going to finally go in with powder to stop us looking completely like an oil slick. And I'm going to go in with the Lottie London Ready Set Go powder with my beauty blender. And first of all, I'm just going to carve out my contour a little bit. I don't do it too much because we have already kind of carved it out before. But just kind of pop that under my cheekbones. And I'm actually going to take some of the Revolution banana powder and put a little bit of that in the lids. And I'm going to take some of that on my sponge again and just go under my eyes with that. Not to bake as such, but I'm just going to kind of pop it there for a minute just to kind of brighten that under eye a little bit more. I'm then going to take my Zoeva Luxe Powder Fusion brush and I'm going to go back in with that Lottie London powder, and I'm just going to take a little bit of powder and just kind of set the rest of my face in place. I don't want to get rid of that glow, but I don't want to look wet either. And then by the time I'm done with that, I'm actually going to take my brush and just dust off any of that banana powder we had under our eyes. Just so we're not looking too powdery there. I'm going to kind of bring it up onto my eyes as well, just to kind of set them in place for shadow later. And then I'm just going to dust off that bake under my cheekbones, and you can see it just leaves kind of like a nice sharper line. I call them my cheekbones. God knows I wasn't born with them. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to powder. I'm going to go in with my Too Faced chocolate bronzer because, let's face it, what else do I ever use? And I'm going to take my Zoeva Luxe Powder Finish brush, take a little bit of that, and I'm going to work that kind of at the back of my ear. This will just help to kind of add a bit of a fake shadow. Just like that. And again, same sort of thing, just on my jawline. Every so often I get a little bit of kickback from this powder, and it literally tastes like chocolate. It's so nice. I've never done this actually. We're gonna... Yep, I just did that and it tastes good. It tastes damn good. I'm then just gonna go in with this little pencil brush. It's the Sigma E30. And I'm gonna go under my nose and just kind of blend that out. Again, just to set that in place. Darken it a little bit. And I'm also gonna go under my lip again. You can also actually, I don't do this all the time, but you can also kind of bring it up around here. It'll look a little bit weird if you're not wearing lipstick, but if you are, then it'll make your lips look a little bit more full. I'm showing you guys like every single step today, so I am just going to quickly show you bronzing as well. I'm going to take the blank canvas F42, take a little bit of the Lottie London Tan Time bronzer, and all I'm going to do is kind of go above my contour and just kind of blend that in a little bit. It's just going to kind of warm up my skin a little bit more. For highlighter, I can't decide whether I want to use the Laura Geller Gilded Honey, which you guys know is one of my favourites, or Becca Champagne Pop. I think we're going to go for Becca Champagne Pop because you guys already know that I love this and I don't use this in too many tutorials at the moment, so I'm going to take that. And by the way, Becca highlighters in general, the best. Literally just the best ever. So I'm going to take, again, my Powder Fusion brush, take some of that highlighter and brace yourselves. Oh yeah. So I'm basically just going over all the places that we put the cream highlight. This is when I want to go full on extra. Working that on my brow bone. Literally this paired with the Cover FX drops is like the Ross and Rachel of the makeup world. And then I'm just going to take another pencil brush, same one as before, just a clean one, and I'm going to pop that right on the inner corner, just in case you haven't all lost your vision already. And then I'm actually going to add a little bit of blush. I actually tend to do my blush after my highlight because I kind of find that contour, bronzer, and then the highlight, add blush after, it all kinds of blends it together. So I'm just going to take this middle shade, again from the Becca palette, just a little tiny bit, and just kind of work that in between the bronzer and the highlight, just so there's no really stark line, and it also just makes me look a little bit less dead, which is a plus. Okay guys, so that is my current contour and highlighting routine when I'm feeling a little bit extra. I'm very aware I'm looking incredibly beige at the moment, so I'll chuck on a little bit more makeup and see you guys in the outro. Okay guys, so this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed watching this little updated contouring and highlighting routine. Let me know if you guys do want any other updated routines like brows, foundation, whatever, and I'll try and get around to doing that. I honestly love how my skin looks when I do this. Obviously it is a little bit more time consuming, but the way this highlight just pops, I am honestly obsessed. As always, I'll link all of the products in the description box down below alongside what is actually on my lips, because I know a lot of you guys always ask me to do that and I always forget, so making a mental note here to do that more often. If you guys did enjoy this video, then please do give it a big thumbs up because that really does help me out a lot. And if you are new, then hit that subscribe button because I post every other day. But apart from that, that's it from me. I love you guys and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.